Hello everyone, and welcome to another Bass Singer First Time Reaction and Analysis. My name is Peter Barber. I am primarily a professional opera singer, music producer, and bass vocalist. Today we're going to be checking out BTS's Tiny Desk concert. Now, I just did my first BTS video last week, their cover of Fix You, and I was hearing from a lot of the comments that it doesn't really showcase nearly all of their skills. And especially I found out there are 4 singers and 3 rappers. Did not know that, so that's a really cool element that I'm interested to see more of. Again, I have not had any experience with BTS until last week. I probably got about 100 suggestions to check out this Tiny Desk concert, and I love Tiny Desk concerts because it's a pretty raw experience. It's not a big production, it's a very intimate setting, so you can hear a lot of the nuance and detail in the vocalism and whatever's going to be happening with the band situation they have going on there as well. So we're going to check out that today. A very quick, exciting announcement. I've probably gotten 25 to 30 sponsorship offers for this channel over the last 3 or 4 months as it's really started to grow. And I have finally accepted one and am kind of negotiating a second and third one. So before we dive in today, I am going to give a quick message from them, and that is going to happen right now. Today's video is sponsored by Brevity. Brevity is a backpack company that makes both functional and super stylish backpacks. To use their words, insanely functional. And actually, I have to agree after giving it a test run over the past week. But today I just want to take you on a tour of the backpack and how I used it today as I went to the park and did some studying and some journaling. So check this out. First of all, we have a very nice, sleek place to keep a mug or a water bottle. Next, we have the main compartment of the backpack, which I use today to bring a book and an umbrella, just in case the storms come in. Next, we move on to the sleek back part of the bag, which could be used for a laptop, or for me today, an iPad used to study some music, and a journal, as I wanted to get some thoughts down on the page for some upcoming projects. Next, we have this front pocket, which today I used just to bring an apple and a couple protein bars, but there are a few sleeves in here. You could really use it for anything you want as long as it's something reasonably small. And the last part I want to highlight is this super cool feature where you can open up into the main compartment here for super quick access. All you do if you need quick access to these items, unzip, bam, right there. How easy is that? So basically what you're getting is a super functional and super stylish backpack at the same time. Not to mention, these Brevity backpacks have a lifetime warranty and over 5,000 5-star reviews. Go over to www.brevity.co/PeterBarber and use the code PeterBarber10 to get 10% off any of your orders. Huge shout out to Brevity for this sponsorship, and huge shout out to you guys for checking out these super high quality backpacks. I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is a proud sponsor of this channel, and we'll see how all that develops going forward. Please like, please subscribe, help the channel grow. It's totally free, takes no time. And if you're really enjoying what I'm doing, if you're getting a lot out of these analyses, then consider donating my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And by the way, if you're new to this channel, this is not just a reaction channel. I will be breaking down, going deep into vocal technique, musical arrangement, and all that good stuff as well. Now, it'll be interesting because I don't know these songs well, because I don't know this group yet, but just ye be warned. And given that this is a 14-minute video on its own, this video will very likely be broken up into at least 2 parts, probably 2 half-hour segments. So I can have the full time to do the analysis. I don't want to try and cram everything into a short window because, groups like this deserve time to break down what they're doing. Mega talents require time to really dig in. So here we go, guys. This is BTS's Tiny Desk concert. Let's do it.
Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. JK! Hey! Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. King Kong, kick the drum, running on like a rolling stone.
Okay, loving this, and I do actually know this one because I did a Pentatonics video of a mashup that had Butter and Dynamite in it. So I guess I do know those 2 songs somewhat. So just let's talk about the voice here a bit before we go any further. This song has such a great groove. You can feel that funky bass line coming in. And what this singer is doing here, and again, I don't know all the members yet, so I'm getting to know this group as we go. What we get here is starting out in a chest voice and flipping up into more of a belty, mixed voice. And you can tell because the vocalism gets a little lighter as it ascends. Here, I'll point this out. So as they go from, so watch me bring, so watch me bring the fire, so watch me, that's all in the chest voice. Of course, I'm going to demonstrate lower in the bass range because that's what's comfortable for me. But so watch me bring, the singer jumps up into more of a mixed voice there. The mechanism gets a little lighter, but I will say they're maintaining very solid vocal fold closure. So the sound is staying pure, it's staying bright, it's staying very present.
The nightlight. Hey. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. King Kong, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top, LeBron. Hey. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice day, and I get my ping pong. Hey, this day, heavy, hey, hear the bass, boom, I'm ready. Life's sweet as honey, yeah, this beach chain like money.
Oh yeah, this is already like showcasing so much more than the cover of Fix You, which, and also what I've heard is they really were kind of paying homage to the original. They didn't change anything. It was just basically a very simple vocal cover. Now we're getting to see what this group is about. We've got this trade-off between rapping and singing. We've got all these hype shouts coming out in the middle. You can tell this group has a lot of fun together. I think they started, and I believe they're a South Korean boy band that started in 2013 and have quickly gone to the absolute top of all the charts. But this is so great. They're having a great time. Just the sound for being a live performance, and again, this is something you get more of in a more intimate setting like this, is so crisp and they're so together. They're all in close proximity. Of course, they do have in-ear mics you can hear, so they're hearing the mix in real time. It helps singers in live performance stay in tune, because you're getting feedback from your mic back into your ear as opposed to just trusting the atmosphere you're in. And they're getting the full band, so they're hearing the drums and the bass and whatever else instrumentation is happening. But they just sound really crisp, like a very, very polished performance in this intimate setting of the Tiny Desk concert. Let's back it up a few seconds and keep going.
Life's sweet as honey, yeah, this beach chain like money. Of a lot, I'm into that. I'm good to go. I'm diamond, you know I glow. Hey, so let's go. Cause I'm in the stars tonight. Yep. Hey. So watch me bring down fire, set the night light. Hey, it's shining.
So the same there. When these singers are jumping up, they're going from a chest voice up into a mixed voice, which is just the nature of how high it goes. Up to C sharp 5. Where was it? Just like that. So E, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E. So that's kind of the pattern they're doing, and so that makes sense. I'm guessing a lot of these singers are probably tenors by nature, maybe some baritones. I haven't heard any obvious bass voices yet. Usually a bass voice is pretty obvious when it pops out. So an E4 in chest is easy for a tenor voice, but a C sharp 5, just a half step above tenor high C, not easy in full chest voice. It takes a lot of power and control and vocal fold strength to be able to stretch your vocal folds so they can actually sing that pitch while remaining in chest voice. So it makes sense that they're using that as a mechanism, but it's not like they're popping from a chest voice into like a weak falsetto, like they're keeping it very present, and the vocal folds are coming together very well. So that's really, really nice to hear, and I'm just loving this trade-off between rap and singing, and I'm loving the whole groove of this song, and like I said earlier, how crisp everything is and how polished this performance is. Really wonderful. What was I going to say? There was some... No, let's keep moving forward. We got a lot of music to get through. So we're gonna keep going. Let's see what happens next.
Let's go! 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight.
So you can hear it. I'm head voice in the stars tonight. When he goes back to the in, comes back into chest voice. So just listen to the distinction in vocalism there. How it's a bit lighter and it is a bit less powerful, even though all these sounds are going to be compressed through this electronic system, through the microphones. You can still tell a bit about raw power. Not actual volume, but just about how powerful the sound is in comparison to one another, just based on the quality of the sound. So just listen to that descending pattern, and then on the word in the stars tonight, the voice comes back into full chest voice.
Hey, so let's go! 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight.
It's pretty clear if you're looking out for it. Then that in really jumps out as a more powerful sound.
Hey, so let's go! 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight. Yep. Hey. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, it's shining through the city with a little fucking soul. Light it up like dynamite.
That I think they stayed in full chest voice for that high B. This singer here. In the this kind of floral pattern. That sounds pretty strong. Yeah. Either chest or a very strong mix.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got Madison, so you should keep your eyes on the ball.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and I know the last song I talked about language barrier, and they're just crushing it. Some of these singers really, really solid English. Some less so than others. But overall, a very good job. I mean, I think even if these subtitles weren't here, I would still be able to hear the words quite clearly. I was grooving there. There's so much to think about because we got 7 singers, which is way more than I usually analyze in a video. Usually it's like Jeff Castellucci and just like breaking it down what his voice is doing. So this is a lot. This might go into 3 parts for this video. And you know, the bass line is so... There's like so much funk happening. Oh man, what an absolute bop. Okay, I'm going to back it up a little bit just to get back into that. There's no way I'm going to be able to talk about every element happening. So I'm going to try and touch on the highlights, and that should be plenty for you guys to digest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got Madison.
I love this guitar motif. So you've got that combined with the funky bass line, and it just makes for this great rhythm section in the background.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got Madison, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. This is getting heavy, can you hear the bass boom? I'm ready.
I don't know these songs very well, but I feel like I can sing along because I just know the melody enough to where if the subtitles are here, I can kind of fake it. This is actually making my experience a lot more enjoyable. Makes me feel like I really know this music.
Honey, yeah, this picture ching like money. Disco, I'm alone, I'm into this, I'm good to go, I'm diamond, you know I glow.
So there's a nice little flip. Diamond? Obviously, I started in my head voice already, but just a nice flip up and no real... I don't think there was a goal for the pitch. It was just kind of like a slide up into a different mechanism there. Diamond. I don't really know where that pitch ends up, but just kind of like a throwaway. A nice like vocal effect there. Just kind of like throwing a note away into your upper range to add for that like kind of shouty effect. Nice.
Let's go! Tonight. Okay. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, hey. Shining through the city with a little focus on.
Stay in chest voice all the way up that high B's. Woo boy, that's way up there. Also, you could tell this singer was checking the inner ear mic because, I mean, obviously this is very high quality equipment. A group like this wouldn't be using slouch equipment, you know. But even with that, sometimes it helps singers, if you do have an in-ear mic, to just secure it and push it in a little bit and kind of get rid of any excess sound that might be coming in, so you can really hear yourself ever so clearly. You like, if you watch, I don't know, any studio session of an artist, or you watch a documentary, you'll see singers in the studio doing this thing. It's so they can actually hear themselves better in the feedback loop coming to their inner ear microphone or set of studio headphones or whatever. So you can tell as this singer was ascending, do up to that high B, he's just checking to make sure that scale as he's hitting all the right pitches going up, as opposed to just kind of letting it loose. Because, you know, that's something in live performance, you can get caught up in the adrenaline, and part of being an artist is surrendering to that adrenaline, but the other part of the artistry is still being accurate vocally and musically. You know, do what the composer's write, or do what the artist originally put down. Think about this a lot in an operatic setting, where it's like you want to get lost in the character and be the character on stage, but you also want to stay true to the music and stay true to what the composer put down, right? So it's kind of a mix of that. They're all performing, but it was nice to see a little check-in, like, whoop, am I still in tune? Yes, I am. All right, let's keep going. So let's just watch that ascending pattern. Watch this singer here.
Okay. So watch me bring the fire, set the night
Next
light.
one.
Hey, hey. Shining through the city with a little focus on. Light me up
Not
like
comfortable again.
dynamite. Whoa. Hey. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Like what? Life is dynamite. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Like what? Life is dynamite. Shining through the city with a little focus on.
Yes.
Light it up like dynamite.
Oh, that was interesting. Okay, so this singer took that pattern all the way up to that high B in their chest voice, but then switched to a head voice for a second before coming back down. Light it. We're in a pretty light, breathy falsetto, and then up like dynamite comes back in full chest voice again. So you can hear a pretty drastic change of timbre and vocal color with this high line on the B's. And then, light it, light it, light it. And then those are in like a lighter falsetto, and then back into chest voice. So obviously you can do some tuning and editing live because of how fast electronic signal can go through a system. You can edit vocals in real time. Like there's obviously compression happening so the vocals say similar volume throughout and stuff like that. It's hard to say. It does sound like there might be some tuning happening. And that's not to say the singers don't sing in tune. I don't like when people assume that's what I mean when I say something like that. But just the nature of having things sound perfect in a live setting. And it sounds like you can do tuning live to where it almost gets a little bit of that auto-tuney feeling. You know, like when you think auto-tune, you think T-Pain, but that's not how it's really used. All music is tuned in the studio. And usually it's just minor things, but for a polished studio recording, everything's got to be really rock solid. So, I don't know if they're doing it. It's like maybe it's just vocalism I'm not used to, like really quick, sharp changes in pitch that sound like autotune that might not be. But it's possible. It is possible they're doing tuning live, but nonetheless, regardless of what's happening on the editing side in real time, they're locked in, they're singing really well, and they're singing accurately, and it's just it just feels so rehearsed and so compact and solid. You know, just a really solid performance is the best way to put it. And let's keep going. I think we're almost to the end of this first track here. Lighthead voice.
Shining through the city with the little fucking sun.
Oh yeah.
Light it up like dynamite.
They go up a whole step there. They went up a whole step, so they were in E major, now they're in F sharp major. So a whole, they went, now they're here. And then we got this 6 chord, or this 6 scale value belted by this singer here with the purple mic, I think. Likely in some kind of mixed voice. That'd be really, really high for full chest, but, you know, let's see. And key change. I think it's a pretty solid mix, and then on the bottom pitch of that little pattern they just did, it went back into chest. But again, because of the compression that's happening through the microphone system, if a singer like this has a really strong mix voice, it actually does get pretty tough to tell when they switch from chest to mix and back and forth there. That's full chest. And you could hear how tight the vocal folds were together. Like really coming together tight because they really have to stretch. So it takes a lot of vocal fold strength to do that. That's really solid. That's a great example of a full, I'm pretty sure a high C sharp full chest belt there. So good. So good. There was also some really, really great, just like added instrumentation. There was a lot of brass happening, which I don't see any brass instruments, so that maybe that was a pre-recorded multi-track kind of thing, or maybe could have been done in post-production, added some horns in, or it could have been done on a synth pad. You know, like I see a keyboard player back there. It's possible that part of the keyboard could have been set up for the MIDI data to, when he strikes, you know, whatever those pitches were, to be a horn section instead of a keyboard sound. You can do that with electronic pianos and keyboards and stuff. Really cool. Just big, fun, great energy, really cohesive sound. And let's keep on moving forward. We're actually don't have a whole lot of time left in this part 1. Let's keep it rocking. And I guess they do talk in between.
Okay.
For the sake of
BTS.
musical analysis,
our latest
I am
single,
going to
Dynamite.
skip forward.
It's a disco pop track that we simply
Very, very, very honored and
Tiny, save me.
yeah.
say me.
Save
Hope
me.
you enjoy
Okay,
it.
I don't know this one.
Go, go.
Here we go.
Please save me.
Are you ready?
Hey,
Army!
hey.
Can you hear me?
All right, so this intro, we've got this crazy, crazy high whistle tone, like synth of some kind, and we have just piano. No, we're down here. What key are we in?
Hey,
Army!
hey.
Can you hear me?
Let's go.
B flat minor. B flat minor, I guess.
난 숨쉬고 싶어 이 밤이 싫어 이젠 깨고 싶어 꿈속이 싫어 내 안에 갇혀서 난 죽어있어 Don't wanna be lonely Just wanna be your way to
Oh, let's talk about that.
꿈속이 싫어 내 안에 갇혀서 난 죽어있어. Don't wanna be lonely, just wanna be young.
So already adopting a much more breathy kind of tone. You know, the last song, very hype, a lot of loud belting, a lot of full chest voice happening. And this, we're already starting out with a more kind of breathy, intimate placement of the sound. So that basically means the vocal folds are not coming together as tightly, so there's more air coming through. And it creates a more breathy sound, a little more like this. Really tight vocal closure, there's a lot of brightness in the sound, like this, and it gets much louder. If you're much more breathy, then there's just more air coming through. And so that's kind of a big distinction from the last song to this one so far, is this is a much more intimate place vocally to start this one.
난 죽어있어. Don't wanna be lonely, just wanna be yours. 왜 이리 깔끔한 건지 네가 없는 이곳은 위험하잖아. 망가진 내 모습 구해줘 날. 나도 날 잡을 수 없어. 내 심장 소리를 들어봐. 제멋대로 널 부르잖아. 이 까만 어둠 속에서
Okay, and all vocals so far, you know, it seems like the rappers have not entered the chat yet on this song, but I'm sure it'll happen. You know, there's no drums yet, so unless the song stays super stripped down instrumentally, I'm sure there's going to be a drum track that comes in. Drums and rapping tend to go together well because both obviously are percussive and rhythmic in the way in which they are delivered and played. But right now, overall vocally, they're keeping the mechanism relatively light compared to Dynamite. Relatively light, and it kind of it's all very high as far as range goes, so there is a bit of oscillation back and forth between head voice and chest voice. But all these singers navigate that quite well. You know, there's no obvious flips here happening, which is nice. It means there's some skilled singers, obviously. You didn't need me to tell you that. But let's keep it going. Laps. There's the drums. Yeah, alright, great. So we've got, right before he jumps in, we have the same elements that we started the piece with the pianos, with the piano and that high, really synthy thing, but now we also have drums. A more complicated piano part. The intro one was really just chords. Now there's movement in the piano part. Mostly just drum. The addition of drums and then additional voices. So it's not always just one voice. Sometimes there's vocal shots happening. Okay. And I believe we're about to get a rap section here.
One, here we go. 2, 3, let's go.
Did not expect that.
Let's go.
Okay, so maybe I don't know the original. That seems like it was a small added section to that chorus that they might do in a live setting to extend a piece. I'm not sure, but I was expecting it to go into the rap section, but instead it goes to this kind of breakdown section where there's a constant kick happening, kind of a 4 on the floor kick, and just save me repeated. It looks, one of the rappers, I think, was looking like he was getting ready to jump in, so let's see. So this is going back and forth between Korean and English, I suppose, which is a very unique thing. Super cool. Not something I hear often. It's pretty rare to hear two languages being sung back and forth. It's a really interesting combination.
The best of me, and the back of G. 다시 웃을 수 있도록 더 높여줘 네 목소리를
I also like the harmonies they're happening there. Even during this rap section, you've got harmonies happening, which normally you don't associate rapping with harmony. So that's an interesting touch as well.